Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This week, we've got some more Trench Crusade, and we're finishing up the Court of the Seven Headed Serpent. Yeah, you know what, the last few models are pretty cool, little chunky dudes, the Yoke Fiends. These guys are pretty gruesome, and their lore, you know, wow, I'll tell you about it in just a few minutes. Brutal stuff, brutal stuff. Again, I love these models. And this route, I wanted to go as minimalistic as possible, less colors and less brush strokes, and just to get them through. And I think these were the perfect models to do it, especially with the example that I found. Anyway, guys, please like and subscribe. It really helps support the channel. I'll see you guys in there. All right, I just want to point out before we get started here, I just got all the bases done, and I did it like I've done the bases for the whole Trench Crusade series. So if you really want to see how they're done, just go back to the first few videos and I show you how to do it. But you know, all I did was use dark umber, some brass and some dark silver and some ivory for the bags, and a little bit of I think dark camo green for the base, because we're going to end up covering that up with some pigment anyway a little bit. Alright, so the bases are done and out of the way, and now we're going to move on to the main event, and that's these Yoke Fiends. And I think what I'd like to do here is I think I'm gonna go gray skin. I'm gonna go very, very minimalistic here, almost like these photos right here. Check this out. They're gonna have these glowing eyes, and they're gonna have some gray skin, black weapons, maybe accented with a little bit of orange or umber or red, something like that. So anyway, but the first thing we're gonna do here is we're gonna knock out the skin, and that will be with a base of dark warm gray. Alright, let's get the lore for these guys before we get started. You know, I described the bases real quick, but let's get to the lore. And that would be Yoke Fiends are twisted stillbursts of cursed devils. 1,000 generations growing ever more debased and feeble, and crossbred with beasts of the field by the sadistic infernal bio-priests. These least of all demonkin are kept in servitude until even after the stars go out, lacking intelligence, tortured by their own perverse existence, and filled with malice. They are fit for nothing but the crudest of tasks. In the innermost chamber of their black heart remains the tiniest polluted shard of divinity, the cruel legacy of their own angelic forefathers. This dim knowledge and their repulsive fallen state fills the Yoke Fiends with unended hatred and envy towards the untouched part of the creation. Yeesh, these guys, man. Again, this game is brutal with the lore, and I was actually watching a few videos the other day, and there's a little bit of controversy over the, man, I can't even say that, controversy over these guys, and about the base and the realistic lore that these guys jump from for their game. It's pretty insane. I guess a lot of people are not liking it much, but you know what, guys, it's all make believe, so it is what it is. I guess I understand some of it, but these are pretty grotesque, and the lore is pretty scary and kind of quasi close to home because it's based in reality. Anyway, I digress. So what we're going to do here is we're going to start with the gray skin, and that would be, again, the dark warm. I just mentioned that a minute ago, but we're going to do it again. All right, let's do it. Alright, there we go. Base of the skin down with some dark neutral gray. Dark neutral gray, right? Yep. Nope, dark warm gray. Dark warm gray, and that looks really nice. Did it on all of them. You can see, real quick, real simple. I even nicked a bunch of other things, but that gray skin is terrific, especially when I get some wash on there. And I still have to do some highlights, and I will be using rubber and rubber highlight, I believe, for that. I'm pretty sure. We'll see. That dark warm gray turned out to be a little bit lighter than I expected, but maybe I'll do a wash first and then I'll highlight it. That's probably what I'll end up doing. So I'll put in an Agrax on all these guys on the skin when I get to it. I'm going to start working on the armor now, and we're going to use, actually I'm going to use, let's see, we're going to, boom, right there. We're going to do some dark metallic. We're going to get all the metallics done on this guy. And I'll probably end up using a dry brush and a brush. I'll be using these two here just to get some of the areas. All right, let's do it. Alright, there we go. I used the dark silver and I dry brushed all of the metallic and all of the armor. I wasn't sure if I was going to do that or not, but I went ahead and did it, and I'm really glad I did. These guys are looking sick. I'm really love digging these guys. Okay, so now what I need to do is I need to get a little bit of this red, or actually I take that back. Let's push these back here a second. I'm going to show you what we're going to do here. We are going to use a little bit of burnt sienna, and then we're going to use a little bit of orange, and I may even grab just a little bit of oxide red here, or red oxide, to kind of etch highlight some of the areas, like right in here along the gun, on the armor. Here, I'll give you an example of what we're looking at here, so you can see right there. That's what we're going for. We're going for that red oxidized kind of lighting look, almost rusty. Not quite sure, but that's what we're going to do, and we're going to do that all over. And as you saw, it was this guy was in the photo who I got the example from, and I really like the minimalistic look. And also, we're going to make those eyes pop, kind of like the photo in the back, or the etching, kind of like this. Those are actually, if you can see, look at this. Check this out. You can see the Seven Headed Serpent. I made AI. I had AI do that background for me. Those are actually Yoke Fiends, what AI came up with. But anyway, pretty cool. I digressed. I was focused on the background because it's just too cool. Anyway, all right. So what we're going to do? It's got a little bit of cloth, and you know what? I may do that cloth in some really dark brown because they've all got it. And I also noticed here they've got a couple bones hanging down. I got to get those. There's a bone hanging down. There's like 3 bones hanging down right there. So I got to grab those. So I'll do those first, probably off camera, and then we'll start working on the orange and the oxide red and the burnt orange. All right, let's do it. Alright, those guys are pretty much done. All we need to do now is we need to get some of this burnt sienna into the crevices of the armor and things like that, and then we will come back with a little bit of burnt orange to make it pop, and then we will come back and do the wash for the skin and pretty much a general wash over, and these guys are pretty much done. Alright, so what we're going to do now is burnt sienna in the crevices. Alright. Alright, so we're going to finish off the skin with rubber and rubber highlight. I just put the Agrax Earth, as you saw, and it really darkened that skin a lot. Look at this. Really dark. That's exactly what we're looking for. And so this rubber and rubber highlight's really going to make that skin pop. And I went a little lighter on this one because I really want the eyes to pop, and I don't want some of the details on this guy to drown out a little bit. And I like it. I like this color. These are probably a little darker than I prefer. This is where I was going for. But you know what? We can make it all work. So alright, let's do it. Alright, so right here we're going to do the pigments into the crevices just to kind of give it that gritty look here. Maybe even on his hoofs. That's probably a good idea. Well, there you have it, guys. Court of the Seven Headed Serpent, Yoke Fiends. Man, these guys are, what a cool little paint, you know? I mean, real fast, real simple. And again, we kept it simple. I wanted to keep this as simplistic as possible, just to push through and just to keep it as quick as possible to get them done, because I have a ton to do. And you know, when it comes to doing some of these models, you really want to just push through, especially one of the ones, you know, that you're just not super interested in. You just want to get them done. Here's a great example. Just a few colors, right, and boom, these guys look pretty dynamic. Anyway, guys, we're going to move on to a little bit of probably, I think we're going to do some kill team next week. Goremongers. Yeah, and I think I have an idea of what I'm going to do for the paint scheme. I'm not quite sold on it yet. We'll see. Anyway, guys, stay tuned for that. Please like and subscribe. It really helps support the channel. And I'll catch you next week.